A family moves from Oslo to a small Norwegian town, but they don't know that this town is besieged by a Viking wolf. Viking Wolf is a Netflix original written and directed by Stig Svensson. I hope I pronounced that name right. If not, I do apologize. He directed movies such as Elevator and Kingsboy. Not a crowded elevator, not that Incubus song from the Scream 3 soundtrack. That is a very, very obscure, deep cut reference for Scream 3 fans, all 5 of you out there. And was also written by Epson Okun. I really am pretty certain that I mispronounced that, but he was one of the writers that did Troll. There was another pretty good Netflix original from Norway about, wait for it, a troll. And this is about, wait for it, you might want to sit down and grab a snack, because this might blow your goddamn mind. In fact, don't have popcorn, don't have anything that you could throw up in the air. This is about a Viking wolf. I know, a movie called Viking Wolf about a wolf that Vikings found in the year 1050. How absolutely mind-blowing. But yes, Vikings don't pay attention to monks telling them, hey, don't go in this room that we have sealed off, even though you're besieging, pillaging, and destroying our little villa here. Don't do that. Don't go into that room. Oh, you did, and now you've released a Hound of Hell, and then the Hound of Hell ends up making shore in the Nordic woods, and then nearly 1,000 years later, well, yes, a small town in Norway is besieged by attacks from a Viking wolf. Then a family moves in to this small town. There's Liv Berg, who was in the movie Kiss Me. She was the blonde that was the sister that got with the woman that was going to marry her brother. As far as movies go, it was actually pretty accurate. There was kissing, and there was a lot of, well, not me involved, but there was a lot of me, her, too many pronouns, pal, as Vince McMahon once said, and also Midsummer. She was one of the cultist members. Midsummer was really goddamn good and bright and crazy, and Florence Pugh was tremendous in that. And also, there is a character named Thale, or Thal. I really am trying to pronounce these names correctly, and I wrote this name down. Ellie Rihannan Mueller Osborne. That's a very long name. And also William Arthur Hakalotti. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce any of the other actor names that I wrote down. This, however, is basically a werewolf tale with a family that is just trying to fit into a particular town, but after a werewolf attack, there's Liv, who is on the police force. She's trying to figure out what happened. Her daughter is a key witness. Her daughter witnesses this attack, but also may or may not have been attacked by the wolf. Find out in the spoiler section. And then from there, hunters and the police must team up to try and solve this mystery before their little Norwegian town is history. Viking Wolf Tales, woohoo! Yeah, as far as movies go, it's pretty on the nose with the title, and it does take a while before you actually get to see what is causing it, which I will spoil here because it's pretty goddamn obvious. There is a werewolf around. There's an old man with one missing arm named Lars. It wasn't him. It was the one Lars man. Ha ha ha. I really should have led with that one. And he's warning Liv, hey, just so you know, you're looking for a werewolf. She kind of blows that off, but he says, here's a silver bullet. You might want to actually have this. In fact, you might want to have a whole bunch of silver bullets because you're going to want to use these to actually take down what I know it is. And it's just your typical monster movie with a little bit of family drama. It is more of a throwback where it takes a while before you actually see the monster. And a monster is scarier the less you see of it. Then eventually they reveal, and then it kind of kicks up in the second and third act with some decent action scenes, and overall it's certainly not all that bad. It's not wholly original. In fact, I would call this not really I wouldn't call this original at all. It's stuff you've seen before with a particular level of skill. The cinematography is well done. The acting is fine. There is a deaf sister element in this, which I think should have been explored a little bit more. I think that would have been a nice little, little sprinkling of a twist on an old trick. But it's not a bad movie. It does end up kind of leaving certain things in the dust and then focuses on one thing and then boom, leaves that in the dust. It kind of goes in a few different directions while trying to have just one central focus. And sometimes I think that gets a little bit lost. And the writing is basic. I mean, I'm not going to fault the writers for this. There's only so many ways you can redo a werewolf tale. But there you go. That's pretty much it right there. It is on Netflix. If you want to check it out, if you're one of the many, many people that still has Netflix, despite their password sharing thing going and, that whole fiasco and whatever. Fortunately, we'll have no issue with that, but other people will. Those people that travel, and that's going to cause some issues, but enough talk about that Netflix stuff. It's a Netflix original, and Norway has been knocking it out of the park pretty much when it comes to movies like this. I still say Trolls a little bit better, but this is a nice throwback to werewolf movie, monster movies of, say, the 50s, 60s, 70s. So, let's just get into spoilers, though. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay. So, Thale does end up getting attacked. She sees this nice boy named Jonas. He has no brothers. No Jonas brothers in this movie. More in the pity, or maybe a good thing. There's this young girl named Elin that gets attacked and dragged off, who seemingly likes this guy Jonas. There's thought that, maybe Thale had something to do with it because she references that she killed somebody, and that's why they had to go. That's why they had to move away from Oslo, which I believe, unless geography has completely failed me, is the capital of Norway. And then the police find Elin's body sometime later. Not Elin Woods. No, it is not Tiger Woods' ex. They call in a favor to a man named William, who's Arthur H. That's really just what I'm going to say there because I'll probably get his last name wrong again. He's a veterinarian. He stays up on this stuff. This guy Lars shows up and says, hey, here's a silver bullet, and here's a few more. You're going to want these. And then from there, we see some hunters with their dog going off and doing some hunting, trying to find out, if this actually is just a wolf, a werewolf, what else is it? And then as far as Thale and Liv's home life, there is a man that Liv is with, who's a stepfather, so to speak, because the original father passed away. The sister, again, deaf, she does sign language and everything. And I'm not trying to be mean. I don't know how to do sign language. I don't. But she's able to do what I assume is accurate sign language. And that's an element they really should have explored a little bit more. Maybe some of that footage got left on the cutting room floor. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying that I would have liked to have seen that. And then this wolf does show up. I got to be honest, the wolf looked a little fakey. A little. I mean, Brotherhood of the Wolf came out in 2001, 2002. Probably had a much bigger budget than this, but still, it looked a little bit better there. It wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the special effects people. But despite the fact that Liv ends up in the pit, seemingly the lair of the werewolf, and the werewolf somehow managed to get up, kill a whole bunch of hunters, and then get back up to the top of the little cave cliff area and tried to kill her, but she shot it with a silver bullet, and there you go. Except Thale was bitten. Once bitten, twice werewolf. I don't really think that's how that works. And she starts going through transformations, because you got to sever the bloodline, according to the man Lars. I think every Norwegian or Swedish movie must have a man named Lars in it. I think that's a contractual obligation with, I don't know, the deities of Earth. And I know that Lars is a common name there. But he says sever the bloodline, or basically that's it. Well, Thale talks to Jonas and then starts to transform. Kills him, seemingly, even though some of the violence is off camera, oddly enough. There's some good violence, and then others that, other shots where it's like, okay, this is some pretty good stuff, and then it reels back. It almost feels safe in some parts. So, she ends up killing indiscriminately after getting on a bus to Oslo and then transforms and kills people. And then the bus is trapped in a tunnel, seemingly straight out of Daylight, which was a weird Sylvester Stallone movie. And the werewolf effects weren't all that great. Liv arrives and there's fog all around. I don't know where the fog came from. Apparently an N64 cartridge exploded. And William's there suddenly with a tranquilizer gun while Liv is trying to, get her, deaf daughter away from, the wolf, who does happen to be the sister, while she's signing to her sister, I will take care of you, I will watch over you. Again, an aspect that I think was, skipped over. And then they end up tranquilizing the wolf, but not well enough where she's able to shake it off. This guy Lars runs his RV through the building, trying to kill the wolf, misses the fairly large wolf. He's not a very good, he wouldn't be able to work a target because he missed. Ha ha. And then, while it looks like Liv's about to be killed, the sister jams a tranquilizer dart in her sister's wolf arm. And that's it. Except, no, they find they we find out actually that sometime later, Thale is in wolf form on the at the police station or the veterinarian office, or possibly some lab in space. We don't really know. And Liv is going to shoot her, but that happens off camera, seemingly, kinda, maybe. We don't know what happened to the husband, by the way, or the new husband. He was seemingly just forgotten about. And then what ends up happening is we see the lone silver bullet sitting on the table. So either she killed her daughter because there's a picture and a memory of her, or she didn't and she's keeping that just for when she escapes and she can kill her for real. It kind of leaves it open because we don't hear the shot, so you don't know. Maybe it leaves it open for Viking Wolf 2, Electric Norwegian Boogaloo. Who knows? B-. It's well done enough. I liked it enough to recommend it. Maybe you guys will feel differently. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.